think it's easier on the training side to let the market decide the pricing, because we can establish criteria, by which we know if the education was successful, right? If someone's able to pass an exam, that means that we know de facto the program was effective. On the audit side, that's going to be a little bit different because, so question for you. Do we think that there's going to be like a set price for audits? Because I wouldn't think we'd want to race to the bottom on cost, because that's going to encourage auditors to not deliver, this consistency and, and deliver it consistent with the objectives and ideals of the program. Any idea how you guys? Yeah, assessments. Damn it. So here's the good news is that we have like these video editors. I'm sure they're going to get rid of every mistake that. Yeah, they're just going to dump back in. You're going to see my lips move. Is going to go assessors.
You're like those Chinese movies. So I think that's a great consideration to think about. And again, we live and breathe this stuff on a daily basis. You would not believe the kinds of conversations we get into on the board about these very important matters, right? We cannot set the price. This is going to be a free market environment, right? And also remember, and I think this kind of goes back to one of your questions I didn't answer earlier, do assessors need to be employed by C3PAOs? They don't necessarily need to be employed by C3PAOs. They could be W-2 employees, or they could be 1099 contractors with C3PAOs. So an assessor could go from C3PAO to C3PAO.
But just to be clear there, but an assessor will have to deliver the service through a C3PAO.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's the same model that like ISO as an example uses, right? You can be a W-2, but you have to, you need a certified lead auditor who's delivering the service through a registrar. So you're using the same model.
Right,
okay.
Right. Good. But I just believe with the scale of this thing, first of all, you're going to get a lot of C3PAOs, and you're going to get, so that the competitive thing will occur. But we are creating an environment in our organization at the AB, whereby we will be watching and we will be looking at the assessments and auditing them.
Okay, so you're going to do the same model as so the accreditation body in ISO is UCAS or ANAB. ANAB conducts annual audits of their registrars. You're going to conduct some level of review of your C3PAOs to make sure that the work product that they're delivering and basing their opinions on meets an established set of criteria. Yeah,
and I think you can't do it other way. I mean, you got to have a body watching over this thing, because otherwise it could go out of control.
Gotcha.
And so it's a great model. We have to be able to scale it effectively, and that's going to be a challenge because of just the sheer number. But that's what we're talking about all the time. How do we scale this thing? How do we make sure that the quality is consistent? How do we make sure that the experience of the OSC is consistent and high quality? And the other thing is they're going to have a choice, because we are going to create a marketplace on our website whereby the C3PAOs are listed. And so, it's not like OSCs are going to be stuck with one or two C3PAOs. And we'll also be able to see their history and how well they've done it. And the other thing is that, if OSCs have problems with a C3PAO consistently, right, or a particular assessor, we're going to look at that. And we're going to be making sure that, these are high quality, fairly priced experiences for everyone.
Good. Yeah. The one thought process I have there is that, in ISO, they have a document called ISO 27006, which sets out the requirements for an auditor and how to scope an audit. And I think one thing ISO needs to do a better job of is tightening that document up a little bit, because I think there's a little too much room for interpretation. And I think that's what leads to, different audit levels that do occur. I don't think there's quite the level of consistency ISO should have, as an example. So I would encourage you to kind of really, as you guys are thinking that through, that's the cautionary tale. So as an example, they have a concept within the audit program of people within scope. And the auditors, and there's a level of audit that needs to occur per person in scope. But some registrars will interpret that as all employees in the organization, which might be 300. And then another auditor will say, well, that's only the people that are involved in the construct and operation of the information security management system or program, which is only 20. So you can have a situation where what you're getting is, one auditor scoping it at, 7 days and the other auditor scoping it at 11. And they both are, they both have a mechanism by which they can look at the standard that you've established for them and say, yes, we're doing it right. Right. So, that would be the only concern that I have there. So good luck with that. I'm sure
I know, right?
It's really going to be hard to do that.
Look, it's going to take some time, I think, for us to become mature. And we're going to see a lot of issues. We're just getting started and we're crawling right now. We're not even walking. I feel like the running part is a few years away, and we're going to have different versions and improvements as we go along. And again, through a scalable education infrastructure as well as a scalable, quality infrastructure, and hopefully one day soon we're going to have professional staff. We're actually doing this full time. It has a long way to go. That is for sure.